Friends, today I want to talk about something that is close to my heart and I believe crucial for society, the role of progressive men in empowering women. Whenever we celebrate the achievements of a woman, a successful CEO, a doctor, or a scientist, we often overlook one key ingredient, the support system behind her. And today, I want to highlight a very special category of people, men who uplift, encourage, and empower women. But before I go further, let me ask you, how many of us think that supporting women is about charity or sacrifice? Raise your hand mentally. Yes, I see many. But supporting women is not about losing something, it's about gaining a partnership that multiplies success for everyone. When we talk about progressive men, it is important to understand what this truly means. A progressive man is not just someone who claims he supports women in words. Many men can say that, many men even post motivational quotes online about women empowerment. But the difference lies in action, consistency, and mindset. A progressive man understands that a woman's success does not threaten his masculinity, it strengthens the family, the workplace, and society as a whole. Let me share another story to illustrate this. There was a woman named Meera, a talented architect full of dreams and creativity. She had an idea to start her own design firm. But in a society where women often felt judged for being ambitious, she hesitated. Her husband, Samir, recognized her passion and potential. He didn't just encourage her with empty words, he helped her research business regulations, supported her in networking events, and even worked late nights when she had deadlines. Meera's firm eventually became one of the most successful in her city, and she often says that she could not have done it without Samir's belief in her. A progressive man also understands that support doesn't mean doing everything for her. It means creating an environment where she can thrive independently while knowing she has someone to rely on. Sometimes the best support is silent, listening, observing, and offering help when needed without taking control. It is about sharing responsibilities, celebrating victories, and encouraging calculated risks. Humor helps illustrate this well. Some men think being progressive means giving the woman the last piece of chocolate, letting her choose the movie, or handling the Wi-Fi password. But true progress is not about these small gestures, it's about reshaping your mindset. It is about seeing women as equal partners in every decision, in every ambition, and in every challenge. Friends, history is full of examples where progressive men transform society by supporting women. Think of figures like Mahatma Gandhi, who consistently encouraged women's participation in the freedom movement, or modern examples of entrepreneurs whose wives manage businesses while their husbands cheer them on. In every case, the man's progressiveness was not just moral, it was catalytic. In essence, being a progressive man is a conscious choice. It is choosing encouragement over control, empathy over ego, and partnership over possessiveness. And when a man embraces this role, he not only uplifts the woman beside him, but also transforms the energy of the entire household, workplace, and society around him. Friends, stories are powerful because they make ideas tangible. And when it comes to progressive men supporting women, real-life stories show us what is possible. Let me share a few examples that touched my heart deeply. The first story is about Anjali, a woman who wanted to pursue a PhD while raising 2 young children. Many people thought it was impossible. Her friends whispered, "How will you manage everything?" Even her relatives questioned her priorities. But her father-in-law, a man in his 70s, looked at her and said, "Education knows no age, and neither does support. Focus on your dream. We will handle the rest." Varba. That simple statement changed her life. She successfully completed her PhD, published research papers, and today mentors hundreds of young women. Her success was not just her own, it was a ripple effect of a man's belief and progressive thinking. Then there is Priya and Rohan, whom I mentioned earlier. Priya was a young entrepreneur trying to break into the tech world. In a society where women entrepreneurs face scrutiny at every step, Rohan became her unwavering support. He handled logistical challenges, encouraged her when she faced setbacks, and defended her ideas in professional spaces where her voice could have been drowned out. Priya's company grew, and eventually became a recognized name in the tech industry. And while she was the public face of success, behind the scenes, Rohan's encouragement and belief were essential. Friends, these examples show something very important. Support doesn't always have to be visible. Sometimes it is quiet, sometimes it is mundane, sometimes it is about handling the tasks we don't see as glamorous, paying bills, managing schedules, taking care of children. But all of these small actions give a woman the freedom to dream bigger, take risks and achieve more. Humor moment. Some men think they've already done enough if they say, "Go ahead, I support you." But words without action are like Wi-Fi without the password. It sounds good, but it doesn't work. True support requires presence, patience, and participation. When in my own journey, I have met women who have told me about partners who stayed up late helping with presentations, colleagues who encouraged them to speak up in meetings, and friends who simply believed in them when the world doubted. These men didn't get awards, they didn't make speeches, but their impact was profound. They are the invisible architects of success, quietly lifting women to heights they may not have reached otherwise. Moral of the story: a woman's success is never a solo journey. Behind every brave, accomplished, and extraordinary woman, there is often a man who chose to be progressive, who chose encouragement over judgment and partnership over possessiveness. Friends, if you want to see real change in society, this is where it starts, with men who believe, support, and act. Friends, let's be honest, one of the biggest barriers to women's success is not lack of talent, education, or ambition. It is mindset. And not just the mindset of women, but the mindset of society, and especially the men around them. Too often, men unconsciously create barriers, not out of malice, but because they have been taught a limited view of gender roles. Questions like, does she really need to work so hard? Or will she still manage the home? May seem harmless, but these small doubts build invisible walls around women's dreams. We don't always realize it, but a subtle question, a raised eyebrow, or a casual comment can discourage women more than outright opposition. A progressive man cares differently. Instead of doubting, he asks, how can I help her achieve her goal? Instead of restricting, he supports. This is not just theoretical, it changes lives. Let me give you an example. There was a young woman, Nisha, who wanted to pursue a career in aviation, a field dominated by men in her city. Many said, it's too risky. Are you sure it's appropriate? But her father, a progressive thinker, said, if you want to fly planes, we will help you reach the skies. Safety measures exist, and ambition should not be limited by fear. Nisha became a pilot, inspiring hundreds of other young women. That mindset shift, her father believing in her dreams, was more powerful than any scholarship or training program. Humor helps us remember, sometimes men think supporting women is about giving permission. They say, go ahead if you must. Friends, permission is not support. Support is participation. Support is action. Support is standing beside someone while they climb mountains that you may not be able to climb yourself. History shows us the ripple effect of mindset. In India, social reformers like Jyotirao and Savitribai Phule challenged the belief that girls shouldn't be educated. Savitribai's husband, Jyotirao, was progressive enough to educate her, support her work in schools, and encourage her to lead movements for girls' education. Imagine if he had been narrow-minded, how many lives would have been lost to ignorance? The power of a progressive mindset cannot be overstated. In today's workplaces, the same principle applies. Progressive men mentor women, advocate for equal opportunities, and create an environment where talent and hard work, not gender, determine success. And the beauty of this shift is that it benefits everyone. Families flourish, workplaces become more innovative, and society becomes more just. Friends, the first step toward this change begins at home. If a man teaches his children that ambition and leadership have no gender, he changes generations. If a husband supports his wife's dreams instead of controlling them, he strengthens not just a marriage, but the social fabric itself. Progress begins in the mind, but it manifests in action. So, the question today is, are we holding women back with outdated ideas, subtle doubts, or invisible walls? or are we creating an environment where they can soar freely with encouragement and belief? Because mindset is everything. Once we shift the mindset, support turns into action, dreams turn into reality, and society turns into a place where everyone can thrive together. Friends, one of the most beautiful things about supporting women is that it creates a ripple effect. When a man empowers a woman, the impact is not limited to her life alone. It spreads to her family, her workplace, and ultimately society. Think of it like dropping a pebble in a pond. The small act of support creates waves that touch places you may never even see. Let me give you a story. There was a woman named Ita who wanted to start a small business designing eco-friendly products. Her husband, same year, believed in her vision. He didn't just encourage her, he helped her source materials, manage clients, and even manage social media. At first, it seemed like a small contribution, almost invisible. But within months, her business started to thrive. They hired employees, created sustainable products for local stores, and inspired other families to think differently about women's entrepreneurship. Kavita often says, "My husband's support didn't just help me, it changed the way our whole community views women in business." This ripple effect happens in families too. When children see a father treating his wife as an equal partner, they learn respect and equality from the earliest age. Sons learn that women are not competitors, they are collaborators. Daughters learn that ambition is not something to hide, it is something to pursue confidently. This one act of support seeds progressive values that continue for generations. Humor moment, sometimes men think the ripple effect is about helping once and then relaxing with a cup of tea. Friends, real ripple effects happen when support is consistent. It's not about a one-time gesture. It's about showing up, believing, and acting every day. In workplaces, the ripple effect is just as powerful. Progressive men mentor female colleagues, advocate for promotions based on merit, and create an environment where women feel safe to innovate and lead. I remember meeting a young software engineer, Reena, who shared how her manager, yes, a man, would always encourage her to speak in meetings, defend her ideas in front of senior executives, and take leadership roles. Today, Reena leads a team of 50, and she credits her success to someone who chose to empower her rather than undermine her. Imagine how many more teams, projects, and companies could flourish if every man adopted this mindset. Even in society at large, progressive men create lasting change. Think of social reformers, activists, and community leaders who supported women's education, safety, and leadership. Each time a man chooses to support a woman's dream instead of limiting it, he contributes to a society that is more inclusive, fair, and vibrant. Friends, this ripple effect is magical because it benefits everyone. Empowered women bring innovation, compassion, and vision to every area of life. Families are stronger, businesses are more creative, and society becomes more just. And the man who supports this transformation is not diminished. He is elevated. His life becomes richer, his family happier, and his community stronger. So let us remember, supporting women is never just about the individual. It is about creating waves that touch lives far beyond what we can see. When a progressive man chooses belief over doubt, encouragement over criticism, and partnership over control, he changes not just one life, but countless lives in ways that are profound, lasting, and beautiful. Friends, by now we've seen that progressive men can change the course of women's lives, and through them, the world. But stories alone aren't enough. Inspiration is beautiful, but action transforms lives. So today, I want to give every man here 5 practical lessons that can help you become a true progressive supporter.
1. Listen deeply.
The first step is to truly listen. I don't mean hearing words like a background noise. I mean listening with your heart. When a woman shares her dreams, fears, or even doubts, listen attentively. Don't interrupt. Don't judge. Don't try to fix everything immediately. Sometimes the greatest support is simply being heard. I met a man, Raj, who would listen to his wife recount her daily challenges at work. He never dismissed her struggles. Instead, he asked questions, understood her goals, and offered help where it was needed. Today, his wife runs a thriving company, and she says, Raj's listening changed everything. 2. Share responsibilities. Support is not just emotional, it's practical. If a woman is pursuing her dreams, she needs space, time, and support at home too. Cooking, cleaning, childcare, these are not just her duties. Sharing them doesn't make you less of a man, it makes you a partner. Humor break, and yes, friends, doing laundry counts as progressiveness. It may not win you a medal, but it shows you care about her freedom to pursue bigger dreams. 3. Celebrate her wins. Every achievement deserves celebration. Be her cheerleader, her loudest fan. Don't diminish her success or compare it to yours. I once met a young man who would announce every small achievement of his wife to friends, family, and even strangers on social media, not to show off, but to genuinely celebrate her. That act, small as it may seem, boosted her confidence and courage exponentially. 4. Encourage risk-taking. Ambition requires courage, and courage requires support. When a woman wants to take a calculated risk, a promotion, a new business, a course of study, encourage her. Don't say, be careful. Instead, say, I believe in you. Go for it. There was a young woman named Smita who wanted to invest in a business idea that everyone around her called too risky. Her husband, instead of being afraid, helped her research, planned, and took the first step together. Today, her business thrives, and that risk became a huge reward, all because of support, not fear. 5. Break societal chains. Finally, progressive men challenge outdated beliefs, not just for themselves, but for future generations. Teach your children that ambition has no gender. Advocate for equal opportunities at work. Speak up when you see discrimination. True progress is not passive, it is active. Friends, if every man adopted these lessons, the world would change dramatically. Women would rise without fear. Families would thrive. Communities would flourish. And men themselves would experience the joy and fulfillment that comes from empowering others. Humor moment. And yes, being progressive may sometimes mean sacrificing your favorite chair, sharing the remote, or enduring long conversations about shoes and handbags. But trust me, these are small prices for the magic you create. So today my message is clear: support, listen, share, celebrate, encourage, and challenge. Be the progressive man who lifts women, and in doing so, lifts the world. Because when women rise with the support of men who believe in them, the results are extraordinary, transformative, and beautiful.